Hello, everybody. This is Matt Trader from Profit Mission Control, and today we're going to go over the daily recap for October 16th, 2017. Just go over the launch list stocks that launched today or we took profit on today and discuss them, and also refresh some of the information about some exciting things coming up. So, I did not publish a video for the weekly recap of last week. Was kind of busy over the weekend, but I did publish an article on the website www.profitmissioncontrol.com. If you go there under weekly recap, you should see the latest results, and I posted it also on StockTwits and Twitter, so you guys can keep up to date. One of the reasons it was a lackluster week anyway, and if you kind of check out the SPY chart for last week, we noticed that although we did kind of start hitting continue to hit all-time highs, the volume is drying up a little bit. So we've had very, very strong momentum the prior week, and then last week through today, the volume is just pretty low, below average volume. We're still butting against the all-time highs, so that is a good sign, but the fact that volume is dried up last week is kind of interesting. We are coming up on earnings season, so tomorrow we have a lot of companies releasing earnings. We've had Netflix release earnings after hours, which was pretty good, which might bring in some kind of fresh blood into the market tomorrow and drive the momentum a little bit higher, at least give us some more volume showing up. So today's activities were kind of limited. We had 4 total launches, and 2 of them were profitable, 2 of them were losers, which puts us at a 50% accuracy. However, our winners were higher than our losers, so we ended up with a net profit of 29 cents per share, and our profit to loss ratio actually was 149% when our plan was 142%. And we'll talk about the 142% being the average of all these stock picks combined, and this is what we ended up. So pretty much a good positive day. It was a little bit wild because if you were not quick enough to capture these, the winners turned into losers, and I don't think a loser turned into a winner. But in the case of LCI and ICIHR, you had to have different strategies to manage the trade, as I'm going to show you in the chart. NSM and FARO just were dogs. They triggered, but then quickly reversed and hit our abort price, and I had to exit. And in the case of NSM, I had to actually abort a little bit lower than my abort price because the stock just tanked for no apparent reason. So overall, good day. Nothing too exciting, but green is green. So let's take a look at the quickly the charts for the winners. For the winners, LCI, that one was very quick. Once it triggered, it kept going up to the profit price, and then turned back and ended up aborting if you had not taken your profit. So this is how the chart looked like. The idea there was to break prior resistance on the daily, and based on activities that were occurring the day before. So this was yesterday's or Friday's activity, and then it came on the list for Monday. Just zipped through the launch price today at $24.05, and just kept going until it hit the 24.50. In fact, if you held on to it, could have squeezed it all the way up to $25, but I took the profit at $24.50. It was an amazing trade. I mean, there's no doubt about it. No stop, no pullback. So very good there. On the other hand, ICHR tested my resolve because that one kind of hit the abort price, but it was hitting a support area that I knew, and it's although it touched the abort price, I did not sell because it found support there. It didn't dip below it. The ask, I think the highest bid was 32, I can't remember, 32.76 or something like that. So I didn't want to sell obviously on the bid, although some sales occurred at 32.75. I basically decided to hold on to this one because I know the stock is volatile, and so the launch was at open, and it quickly zipped through there, but I did not take my profit. I think the spreads were just terrible in that one, and then continued to hold until it finally gave me the window that I wanted at 33.50, and then pulled back, and I think it went up, dipped maybe below the board price. Well, it's kind of held most of the day, but I took profit over here at the target 33.50. So that was the second winner. NSM was the sort of the semi disaster because look at this drop. It launched early in the morning, got in at $20 exactly, and held on to it. Seemed like it was doing fine, and then suddenly it started coming down here, and then bam, it just quickly dropped quickly here. I was able to get out at 1971, and then after that it just tanked quickly, and in fact I shorted it. I shorted it trying to recover some of the loss, but I don't include in my launch list results because this is more of a considered intraday trade. So I shorted actually here, and I got an initial win, and then it reversed back on me, but I knew it was kind of weak, so I just held on to my short through this consolidation, and then eventually made money here. I added actually, so I shorted at 1832, added at 1898, somewhere over here, held through this consolidation, and then my average, so my average was at 1988, I believe. And then I took profit at the 1865. This is for the short. You guys may not be interested in it, but just nevertheless, I turned the losing opportunity to a potential, winning opportunity there, which I don't typically do, but this one, the drop was pretty dramatic. And then the last one was FARO. It's a very thinly traded stock, so I kind of had a feeling that once I get in, I probably will be whipped out. Did not put a very strong or a big abort price on it, but 30 cents. So it launched here, peaked a little bit, came close to the profit window, but like I said, the spreads were horrible. Couldn't take my profit there, or otherwise just held on to it thinking that it will probably rebound, but it then dipped below the abort price and had to exit. So if it crosses this launch line again, there might be a strong opportunity. The setup is good from an uptrend, so it could still work. I keep my alerts anyway. If it comes back, I might take a look and decide to enter. So that's basically all the 4 launches for today. A couple of things I want to mention are the looking at our window for profit to risk ratio and profit taking accuracy. So again, we always want to be in this green zone. So although our plan was to be at 442% profit to risk ratio, we ended up at about 149 profit to loss ratio, which means that in order to win or to be in the green, you have to have accuracy at least above 43%, and we ended up with 50% accuracy, and that puts us well inside the green zone for the profit. So that was good. And then interesting one is TRXY. So TRXY was on our launch list for today, and it gapped up pre-market, and I did not have a chance to buy. I would have, but I did not. Plus, I think the gap was above the 275 initial entry. So what I did was wait for a setup intraday, and so this is kind of the activity. So this was yesterday after hours, or Friday after hours. I put it on the launch list initially to break the 275 with a target at 3. Pre-market, it opened at 286, zipped all the way through 320, pulled back a little bit, and then pushed to 340. This was all pre-market, and then when it actually opened in the market, it had already declined and kind of bubbled around. I did not want to trust it at 275, so I just held on, basically looked at the chart. And then we had this huge dip. I saw this 285 level being established as a resistance, and I said, okay, if it crosses 285, I will enter that. But it did, kept pulled back, recovered, butted against the 285 one time, multiple times, and then eventually it broke. I entered at 287 and held on to it. Took some profit, which I typically don't do, but I did actually enter with a larger size just because of the news and the momentum. So I took some profit at 303, and then I'm holding on to the rest. Looks like after hours it hit $3.16, which is my current published profit. So tomorrow pre-market, I'm going to take a look at where this stands and what it's going to do. I might actually hold on to it if it shows strength. Otherwise, I might just exit hopefully within the 316, maybe 310 to 316, or if it pushes a little bit higher pre-market, I might exit a little bit higher. I think it still has a lot of resistance here in the 340 area, so whether it breaks that or not will have to be seen. But that's the only stock that's currently in flight. And then we have a bunch of new stocks that were I cleaned up the waiting for launch list. Shrunk it down. There was a bunch that departed from their initial planned target price, launch price, so those are no longer valid. I keep them in the back burner. I keep the alerts. If I get the alert in the future, I might trade it, but for now I'm not putting it on the active, waiting to be launched. These are all the new stocks. Most of these you've seen. These were all from the list last week that haven't triggered yet, and then these three are from today's list that haven't triggered yet. So keep an eye on those. We can talk about them very quickly. We've got BLDP. That's a fuel cell type of company. Doesn't look good yet, but again, our entry would be somewhere around above this level here at 553, with a profit target at 587. So let's keep the daily to take a look at these setups. It kind of pulled back significantly from last week, but I would say it's still valid. There's our profit window there. For MOS, the next one that was kind of trending back, reversal here. Looks like a nice uptrend. Had a long indicator here, challenging the 100-day moving average. So if it does break it with conviction, the idea is to enter at 22.817 with a profit target at 22.50. So that's still active. And then HUN was the one from last week as well that we never covered before. Again, staging an upward trend. I got a good strong long indication here on my indicator there. It pulled back a little bit today, slightly above volume, average volume, but again, the idea is to break this resistance at 29.55, and then push to 29.93, so right before the 30 mark, which is a high resistance all the way back here, somewhere back here. Can't remember where, but usually it's a whole number, so the whole number resistance might give you some problem. If it breaks through 30, you could still continue to run further. What else we got? We've got a new launch list that I published today, so go check it out on the website. It's on StockTwits as well. I'm not going to go over it in this video, but do want to kind of alert you to a video that's coming up on position sizing. So I spent a good time putting some material together, and I hope to launch that video in the next maybe few days. So stay tuned to that. With the video, you're also going to get to see a very cool calculator that I use to determine my position size, and kind of give you kind of a very quick glimpse of that. It's really something that I personally use, and then I've tweaked so that I can share it with you guys, and hopefully get some kind of discussion going on with you. It talks about how to properly size your positions based on equity, based on the risk you're willing to take, and a lot of other factors. So let's see here. Just quickly glimpsing through it. There it is. I'm not going to show more detail about it, but we'll talk about it later. But very cool calculator. I've updated it, and you're going to see more about it in that video. So stay tuned to that video. And then last thing I want to leave you with is Trade Ideas. We have an actual test drive coming up next week for $8.88. You pay a one flat rate for 1 week access to all the features that Trade Ideas have to offer. It starts next Monday and it runs through that entire week. You can actually, if you sign up by this Friday, you get to test the software over the weekend without any actual real-time data yet. But you get to play with the software and understand the features. Follow this link, bit.ly/ti-october or OCT-test. And you can also find that link on the profitmissioncontrol.com website. So if you go to our website and click on Trade Ideas, you should be able to see this banner there, and it will take you right to the sign up page. So just click on the picture, it'll take you right to the sign up page. So the thing to note about this test drive is you also can participate for a chance to win a full free year of Trade Ideas Premium by choosing a stock at the beginning of the week. And if that stock ends up making the largest profit compared to everybody else who joins that challenge, you end up with a free subscription of Trade Ideas for a whole year. So that's a kind of a cool feature you guys can try out. But anyway, wanted to remind you about that. I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it if you try it out. There's also a code for the whole month called FinTech. So if you sign up at Trade Ideas, you already like it, go to my website. The links are there, and you type in FinTech, you'll get 15% off the first month or the first year, whether you decide to take the premium or the full featured package. So Trade Ideas, I have a Dodeca alert, and I talked about this a few days ago. HTGMM was a stock that came out from the Dodeca alert. Today it hit its profit target, 20 cents. Never came close to the abort price. So I mean, I get a lot of intraday activities from Trade Ideas, so don't miss this opportunity to get really actionable trade ideas and alerts to your inbox. So last thing is, please click on this button here to subscribe, and I'm gonna sign off, and you guys have a great evening. Take care.